with that down, let's move into main topic number 2, shall we? And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Diego Maguino, who writes, 007's film No Time to Die has been delayed again. That's the theme of today's show, apparently. This time to October 20th, 2021. At this point, I shouldn't be surprised, but I really thought things would be okayish by April and wouldn't move. What are your thoughts? Okay, thanks a lot for sending this in. And yes, as Rob kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, yesterday news came out that James Bond No Time to Die apparently has plenty of time to be delayed, because they have it being delayed is James Bond's new favorite hobby, because they have delayed the film yet again, going all the way back to getting all the way back to October at that point. All right. This is what comes to us from the good folks over Variety, who writes, James Bond's latest adventure has hit another speed bump. No Time to Die, the upcoming installment of the British spy series, has been postponed yet again. The movie will now release in theaters on October 8th. It was originally scheduled to open on October 2nd. Well, not originally, but most recently on October 2nd. It's hardly a surprise that the Bond film has been pushed back to fall. Hollywood has been widely anticipating that No Time to Die would face another delay as the coronavirus cases continue to skyrocket. All right. So, look, I got to say, Rob, you and I actually talked about this not long ago. While there is light at the end of the tunnel, we now have vaccinations rolling out and things like that, and that's great. And there is this very ambitious plan to have 1 million vaccinations a day, 100 million vaccinated Americans in the first 100 days. That's all great. I still don't know that they're going to be able to pull that off. It's ambitious. But Rob and I were talking the other day about even if they're able to do that and hit 100 million vaccinations in the first 100 days, I still felt like that early April date was still going to be too soon. Like I felt, Rob, I was more optimistic about it than you, but I felt that, at the very earliest, mid to late May, might be a possibility. To me, more realistically, June, July, things like that. I think you were saying August, September, October would be more realistic there. So we kind of anticipated that No Time to Die would definitely need to move again. The good news, of course, I suppose, if you're going to try to find a silver lining here, is that unlike Morbius and Uncharted, it didn't move to 2022. So there's one little saving grace, I suppose. But again, we're going to have to wait again. And again, Rob, like Morbius or like Uncharted and some other films, there was kind of this feeling that, okay, they moved it to April. They're not going to move it again. They're either releasing it in theaters or they're going to put it on streaming after that. Apparently, they're still sticking to their theatrical model, so they moved it again to October. And thankfully, that's not too terribly far away. But at any rate, Rob, you heard about another move for James Bond, No Time to Die. Right move, right timing. What do you think?
Well, all I know is that makes it further away in case I get hit by a bus. So I have to be very, very careful until the next October. And even then, I'm not secure in myself to know that I can make it to see the next Bond film. I love James Bond, John, and it just irks me to no end to know there is a finished James Bond movie that exists on this planet right now that was supposed to come out in April of 2020 that I haven't seen. And yes, perhaps that's my entitlement talking, but I feel entitled as a Bond fan, a lifelong Bond fan. Maybe they should have a special screening just for people like me. But anyway, look, it's an inevitability because of all the movies that are coming out. This one is the most expensive. And the thing is, the Bond franchise, they need not only theaters to be open, but theaters to be open at full capacity. I mean, this is a movie that they need, the studio needs it to make $1 billion. That's what they're expecting. They're expecting Skyfall numbers, if not better. And that's why they were asking, in order to make it profitable, they need $600 million from a streaming service. There's nothing they can do. Their hands are tied. So as we all thought, this was inevitable. And until theaters are cranking away at almost 100% capacity, a movie like this just can't. If it's thrown out onto streaming, or it's not going to make its money back, and everyone's going to take a bath. And this is a movie that's almost a guaranteed $1 billion grossing film. So they don't have a choice. Although they should still show it to me.
Just in case that bus comes around the corner looking for you.
Come on, Barbara Broccoli. I love you so much. Your job in life is to produce James Bond movies. That's what you do for a living, which means you're like the perfect woman. So what do I got to do? Send me a link.
Here's a question for you, though, Rob, because, you have been your appraisals have always been very cautious when it comes to this particular topic. So I'll be interested to know what you say about this. Okay, now they've moved it to October, which, again, by my estimation, seems like a pretty safe bet. All the way out to October seems like a pretty safe bet to me. Nothing's guaranteed, obviously. The whole situation changes rapidly every day. But in my timeline, October seems pretty realistic. How confident, on a scale of 0 to 100%, how confident are you right now that we will actually see James Bond No Time to Die in theaters in October?
I'm not very confident. Unless it's not just the inoculations that are in the United States, it's the whole world. And it really depends. I mean, we have new strains of COVID being discovered that are more infectious. And I need to see what I need to make that assessment. Ask me in July.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a pretty wise approach to that. All right, guys, the question is for you. They just moved James Bond to October. Again, we had kind of been anticipating this. We all kind of thought April was going to be a little bit too soon recently, but now it's in October. Right move, wrong move? I feel pretty confident they're going to be able to keep it. Rob's taking a probably very reasonable approach, thinking let's talk about it again in June and July. But how are you guys thinking about that? Jump down into the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. Okay, guys.